Satyamev Jayate, Satyam Vada Dharmachara. Welcome to the news desk on income tax, GST and corporate laws. Let's start from the income tax. Bombay High Court. Bombay High Court denied condonation of delay of 3,389 days in filing appeal before ITAT in absence of a strong reasons. In this case, Bombay High Court held that delay of 3,389 days in filing appeal before tribunal could not condone when no sufficient cause was shown by assessee. Next case, Madras High Court. ITAT could have condoned delay where affidavit explaining reason for delay was annexed therein, matter remanded. Madras High Court held that where assessee waited for the passing of the penalty order for which direction was given by the commissioner under section 263, and when such penalty order was passed, assessee filed an appeal before tribunal. In that process, delay occurred. Tribunal could have condoned delay if reason for delay supported by an affidavit was made out of the assessee before it. Thus, matter was to be remanded back to tribunal. Next case, Madras High Court. Approval under section 10 clause 17a cannot a paper conveying approval and bearing a stamp and seal of the central government. Reference to approval to section 1017a does not only connote a paper conveying approval and bearing a stamp and seal of the central government, but any material available in public domain indicating recognition for such services rendered in public interest. Next case, Delhi Tribunal. Trust registration to be denied only in case assessee failed to fulfill requirement mentioned in section 12AA. Application for registration under section 12A, read with section 12AA, could not be rejected on ground that assessee had not deducted taxes source from salary of staff, or assessee paid salary to the staff partially in cash and partially by check, and that application filed by assessee for registration under section 12A, read with section 12AA, was a change of mind because for 3 preceding years before that, assessee had filed return as a purely business entity. Next case, Bangalore Tribunal. ITAT remanded matter to examine additional evidence filed by assessee to substantiate her claim of section 54 exemption. Where assessing officer denied section 54 deduction to assessee on ground that assessee had not deposited unutilized capital gain in a specified bank account within due date of for filing return of income as contemplated under section 54 subsection 2. An assessee sought to file additional evidence to show that within a period of 3 years from the date of transfer of capital asset, it had put up construction of the residential house, and therefore requirement of deposit of unutilized capital gain in a specified bank account did not arise for consideration. Case was remanded to the assessing officer for exemption, fresh exemption consideration. This is a very good case. ITAT remanded in the matter to examine additional evidence filed by the assessee to substantiate her claim of section 54 exemption, not depositing unutilized capital gain in capital gain account, and assessee give argument that they use for the construction carrying on construction activity, so that ITAT remanded matter to examine additional evidence to assessing officer for fresh consideration. Next case, next CBDT press release 22nd October. Tax Department conducts search action on Srinagar based group undisclosed transaction of 105 crore unearthed. The Tax Department has carried out a search and seizure action on a group of the 3 associates based in Srinagar. The search has led to a seizure of the unaccounted cash amounting to rupees 1.82 crore and jewelry bullion worth 74 lakhs. Total undisclosed investment and cash transaction of rupees 105 crore of the group have been unearthed during the search. Calcutta High Court, CIT isn't empowered to verify genuineness of trust activities while granting Section 12AA registration. Verification of the genuineness of activities is not a condition precedent for granting registration under Section 12AA. Ministry of Finance issued press release on the 24th October 2020. CBDT extend due date of the furniture of tax audit report and ITR for finance assessment year 2020-21. This is updated on 24th also. तो ड्यू डेट जो टैक्स ऑडिट आईटीआर का 31 अक्टूबर तक था उसके स्टेन करके आपको स्टेन कर दिया गया है आपको केस में। देखते हैं इसको। द सीबीडीटी हैज एक्सटेंडेड ड्यू डेट फॉर फर्निशिंग टैक्स ऑडिट रिपोर्ट एंड फाइलिंग ऑफ इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न फॉर द असेसमेंट ईयर 2021। द न्यू ड्यू डेट फॉर फर्निशिंग द टैक्स ऑडिट रिपोर्ट इज द 31st December 2020. The due date filing of the ITR is 31st January 2021 in case where taxpayer is required to get books of account audited or furnished report in respect of the international or specified domestic transaction, and 31st December 2020 in all other cases. तो यहाँ ध्यान दीजिएगा कि जिसके ऑडिट हैं किसी अदर लॉ में, जैसे कंपनी कॉर्पोरेट जिसके कंपनी लॉ के अंदर ऑडिट होते हैं, तो उसकी उस केस में 31 जनवरी 2021 उसका ड्यू डेट है। इसके अलावा जिसके इंटरनेशनल टैक्सेशन ट्रांसफर प्राइसिंग ऑडिट है, स्पेसिफाइड ट्रांजेक्शन के रिगार्डिंग ट्रांसफर प्राइसिंग ऑडिट है, तो उसके केस में भी 31 जनवरी 2021 है और अदर केसेस में आपके 31 दिसंबर 2020 है। CBDT releases instruction for filing of the ITR forms for the assessment year 2020-21. So CBDT should release instruction for filing of tax return forms. These instructions are guidelines to help the taxpayer for filing the particular tax return from 1 to 7 for the assessment year 2020-21. Next, CBDT notification dated 22nd October 2020. CBDT reduced minimum rating from AA to A for the fund eligible for the making investment by Provident Fund. The CBDT has reduced the minimum rating from AA to A for certain fund mentioned in Rule 67, Rule 2 of the Income Tax Rule 1962. Rule 67 prescribed an investment pattern for the Provident Fund which is to be followed mandatory to avail tax benefit. Next, Taxman and AIFTP publish frequently asked question and survey result on faceless assessment scheme. The Honorable CBDT Chairman Sri P.C. Modi launches e-book for the taxpayer and tax professional. This e-book comprehensively highlights the important finest point of the new faceless assessment scheme in the form of the FAQ, and also share the insightful result of the survey on FAAs. If anyone needed this ebook, please WhatsApp or mail for the. So we are sharing the ebook on the request. Thank you. Next, Bangalore Terminal, interest on the borrowing could not be included in cost of the inventory. ITAT held in this case. Valuation of the inventory should be in accordance with the method of the accounting regularly employed by the SSC and is for further adjusted to include amount of any tax, duty, cess or fee actually paid or incurred by the SSC to bring goods to place of its location, and hence there is no such provision in this section to include interest cost in value of inventory. Second, where required details and document regarding receipt of the services from agent by SSC could were not furnished, this allowance of commission payment was rightly made by the assessing officer. Ahmedabad Terminal, accumulation of the 15% of the income under section 11 could not be regarded as obligation in the law, where a trust has incurred shortfall due to its excess spending on the object of the trust in a particular year. Such deficit or shortfall could be allowed to be carried forward in full or for set off against income generated in subsequent year. Sorry. Bombay High Court. High Court issued notice to additional Solicitor General as constitutional validity of e-filing of the ITR is challenged. Bombay High Court, where SSC filed a writ petition on ground that Rule 12 requiring SSC to mandatory file a return of the income for the assessment year 2019-20 when same was not possible for SSC for reason beyond its control was ultra virus to the provision of the Act as well as the Constitution, and hence same was void. Notice was to be issued to Additional Solicitor General of India. Jaipur Tribunal, SDV or fair market value of the flat is to be considered on date of the booking of the flat if same was acknowledged in sale agreement. Where the SSC entered into agreement for purchase of the flat and had made certain payment at time of booking of the flat, a stamp duty valuation or fair market value of immovable property was to be considered as on date of the payment made by the SSC towards booking of flat. Next case, Bangalore Tribunal. No section 40A subsection 9 disallowance if amount was paid was for the welfare of the employees. Tribunal held that where tax effect in appeal of the revenue was below 50 lakhs, appeal was not maintainable because of the low tax effect as per the latest restriction of the CBDT. Second, where amount was paid for the welfare of the employees of the SSC and not as contribution to any fund, trust, etc. provision of section 40A subsection 9 were not applicable. For purpose of computing book profit under section 115 JB, no addition will be made in respect of the disallowance under section 14A read with rule 8D. Next case, Madras High Court. No infirmity in the IT-AT orders allowing SSC to cross-examine person. Madras High Court held where the SSC challenged impugned addition under section 68 on ground that she was not given an opportunity of the cross-examination of the ACE and tribunal remanded matter to the commissioner appelled to allow SSC to cross-examine ACE. There was no infirmity in the tribunal order. Next case, Jaipur Tribunal. Section 69B addition to be quashed if it was made on finding of the excise department, which were later set aside by the state. Where the assessing officer made addition on account of the undisclosed investment in the stock and profit on the sale of the undisclosed stock on basis of the finding of the search conducted by the DGCLI, which was duly approved by the Commissioner Central Excise, since the state had been set aside the whole demand raised against SSC. Finding of the assessing officer would not survive, and thus impugned addition was to be deleted. Let's cover on the news on international taxation. Delhi Tribunal, rate of the dividend distribution tax should not exceed rate specified in Article 10 in the India-Germany DTA. In this case, Delhi Tribunal held that DDT, levy on dividend distributed by payer company, being an additional tax, is covered by definition of the tax as defined under section 243, which is covered by the charging section 4, and charging section itself is subject to the provision of the Act, which could include section 90, and liability to DDT under Act, which falls on company, may not be relevant when considering applicability of rates of the dividend tax set out in the tax treaties, generally accepted principle relating to interpretation of treaties in light of the object of eliminating double taxation does not bar application of the tax treaty to dividend distribution tax, and thus tax rates specified in the DTA in respect of the dividend must prevail over DDT. Let's cover news on the GST. AAR West Bengal, pasteurized milk with haldi fortified with vitamins A and D is classified under heading 0401, exempt from the GST. Next case, Appellant Advanced Authority ruling Tamil Nadu manufactured tobacco product for chewing is classified under tariff item 24039910. Next case, AAR Tamil Nadu conducting seminar, meeting, etc. by ITAT alumni for its member in lieu of the membership is supply under GST. Let's see in details. Where applicant society is the forum for its member and is registered to facilitate professional networking among alumni, student, faculty for mutual benefit in academic, professional, and business area, and to facilitate alumni to contribute to IIT Madras by raising funds, sharing knowledge, expertise, research, academic support, technical collaboration, etc. It is held that activities undertaken by applicant for this member as defined in its memorandum of association and by laws for which membership fee and other charges are collected are covered under definition of the supply of the services under section 7, and since its annual turnover is above prescribed threshold as per section 22, it is liable to be registered under Act. AR Tamil Nadu AITAC available on goods services used in the installation of the renewable power generation plant under REC scheme. Where applicant engaged in the business of edible oil was starting a new business vertical which deals in the generation and distribution of the renewable energy using same name and existing GSTIN and RE power generation was used in the business by applicant and output of the such RE power generator was electricity and renewable energy certificate. Proportionate claim of an input tax credit as per section 17 subsection 2 would be available to applicant on goods and services used in installation of the renewable power generation plant under REC scheme. Next, AR Karnataka. No input tax credits on medicine used in supply of the healthcare services provided to patient admitted in hospital. Karnataka AAR assessee was engaged in the business of the providing healthcare services and also run a hospital whether input tax credit was required to be restricted on medicine used in supply of the healthcare services provided in to inpatient health. Yes, whether input tax credit was required to be restricted on medicine used in supply of healthcare services provided to outpatient, and further in case medicine were supplied independent of healthcare services, then assessee was eligible to claim input tax credit subject to payment of the taxes on such independent supply of such medicine. Held in this case, yes. Next case, AR Tamil Nadu pre-mixed popcorn maize packed with the edible oil and salt is classifiable under tariff item 2008190 attract 12% GST. AR Tamil Nadu payment made for credit card expenses to foreign holding companies services liable to 18% GST under reverse charge, where holding company of the applicant is supplying credit services to the applicant for a specific use of its employees for travel, accommodation, meals, etc. while on travel for business use and settles payables and bank, and in turn raise invoices on applicant and collect charges used by the employees of applicant. Said service will fall under definition of supply and is classifiable under heading 997113, and applicant is liable to pay IGST under reverse charge, and applicable rate of the IGST is 18%. AR Tamil Nadu application for advance ruling rejected, where applicant is a recipient and not supplier of the services, where applicant enter into the lease agreement with the Rail Land Development Authority for construction of the multi-purpose complex facilitating railway consumers. It is held that in terms of the lease agreement, supplier is the RLDA and recipient is the applicant who is leasing land from the RLDA. for a fixed tenure and using it is permitted in terms of the condition of the lease agreement, and therefore application for advance ruling filed by applicant is not admitted under subsection 2 of section 98 of the CGST Act 2017 and TN GST Act 2017 as supply based on the lease agreement between the applicant and RLDA, for which applicability of notification sought is not undertaken or proposed to be undertaken by applicant. CBIC press release dated 24th October 2020. CBIC extend due date to file GSTR 9 and GSTR 9C to 31st December 2020. CBIC has extended due date for furnishing annual return and reconciliation statement in Form GSTR 9 and GSTR 9C. Audit report for the financial year 2018-19. The new due date for furnishing of these forms is 31st December 2020. Next case, AAR Karnataka, activities undertaken by branch office in India for promoting business of foreign head office is a supply under GST. License activities which involve business and promotion of the head office incorporated in Germany being undertaken by applicant license office in India in line with the condition stipulated by RBI amount to supply under section 7(1)(c). AAR Tamil Nadu, Act of the agreeing to grant easement or right of a pathway is a service of the agreeing to tolerate an act tax at rate of the 18% GST. It's an interesting ruling where the applicant's own pathway and has agreed through an MOU with individual to permit her to use pathway to access main road from her residential property which is adjacent to pathway. This is an easement right given by the applicant to individual to enjoy her residential property for a period of the time for a consideration, and applicant has agreed through a MOU to tolerate her use of this pathway for a period of time for consideration. Thus, act of agreeing to grant easement right of the pathway by applicant to individual by way of shared access as per the MOU dated 21st August 2019 is classifiable under Service Accounting Code 999794 and is taxable at the 18% GST under GST at the serial number 35 of notification number 11/2017. Central tax rate dated 28 June 2020 and notification further dated 29th June 2017 respectively. Next case, AAR Tamil Nadu, activity of the building vehicle body on truck chassis of customer is the supply of the service attract 18% GST. Next case, Odisha High Court, reimbursement of the different tax amount from the VAT to GST with respect to the worst contact to be represented before the appellate authority. Whereas a work contractor has challenged action of the opposite parties in not reimbursing different tax amount arising out of a change in tax regime from the VAT to the GST effect from the 1st July 17 in view of the fact that the state government has considered said issue and issued office memorandum dated 10th December 2018. Assessee was directed to make representation before the appropriate authority ventilating grievances. Next case, AAR Karnataka, supply of the Kharif Arhar and green gram to the NAFED is exempt from the GST. Karnataka AAR held. Second, AAR West Bengal, installation of the pipelines outside India is a burst contact chargeable at the rate of the 18% GST do not qualify exports. Next notification issued on 21st October 2020, government exempt duties of the central excise against scrips issued under the ROSL scheme for the apparel and made-up sectors. Let's cover news on the company law. MCA General Circular 36/2020 issued on 20th October 2020. MCA strained minimum residential criteria relaxation for director for financial year 2020-21 amid COVID-19 outbreak. Keeping in view of the request from various stakeholders seeking relaxation from the residency requirement of the 182 days in a year, and after due examination, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs has clarified that non-compliance of the minimum residency of the India for a period of at least 182 days in a year by at least one director in every company under Section 149 of the Companies Act 2013 shall not be treated as non-compliance for the financial year 2020-21. SEBI, Karnataka High Court, mutual fund company deciding to wind up mutual fund schemes should obtain consent of the unit holders. Where mutual fund company decided to wind up mutual fund scheme, it had to obtain consent of the unit holders, investor of the said scheme, which would be by a simple majority. Next update on company law. Delhi High Court, plaintiff claim of the beneficial interest in a company was unsustainable as he failed to submit any proof. In this case, Delhi High Court held that where the plaintiff made declaration with respect to the beneficial interest in some companies, what he could not submit any proof, and further concerned companies had also not filed any return with registrar of the company with regard to declaration claimed to have been made by the plaintiff. Claim of the beneficial interest by plaintiff would be unsustainable. SEBI issued a clarification on applicability of corporate governance norms with respect to the foreign subsidiary of a listed entity. The SEBI has issued clarification via informal guidance on applicability of the central government norms with the respect to foreign subsidiary of listed entity. It has clarified that if listed entity has subsidiary and such subsidiaries are required to have board and conduct meeting, then the requirement of the regulation 24 meet if the minutes of the subsidy should be placed at the board meeting. Thank you so much for watching News Desk on the income tax, GST and corporate laws. Thank you so much.